Gap. I'll do that. The gap between class so large we cannot bury it. Looking down from the bourgeois on the proletariat, begging to the good God to show them some encouragement, like holding down a good job or at least a job to pay their rent. But the rich still preach, nothing come for free but the continent we siege when searching west from east. And a time to expand, so they had to get creative, like trading good for land as they fucked over the natives, enforcing our religions and our social expectations, exploiting foreign culture using miscommunication, liquor and casinos, sent them off to reservations, reaping all the benefits without justification. But that's all in the past, and we got issues more relevant, like national disaster on the shoulders of a president, left here by the last one and I'll hold his daddy credited. But I'd rather be a bad son than responsible for these elements. And we had lost the focus like our brains were set on digital, cause nothing can be blamed on a single individual, and nothing gets accomplished without going to Congress and not stopping the problem you're becoming its accomplice. Just like a walking zombie, might as well be flicking the bomb switch, ignore responsibilities but blocking out your conscience, replacing basic ethics with your patriotic nonsense. Our book of working methods lacks some ethical content. I know that I'm God sent, but God knows that I've spent most of my life trying to figure out where my time went. As it flew by, my one-sided mindset focused on the sky with my pride as my sidekick, rearranging planets with that slick Jedi mind shit, with the key to understanding lies within defying science. Concentrate on noises made with living life in silence to pacify the passerbys and keep the rebels quiet. If knowledge is our substance, then I guess we're all on diets. If consumption were a product, then we'd be the first to buy it, snatch it off the shelves faster than they could supply it. Subliminal propaganda weapons used by mental pirates. But here's another one under the same category. I'm going to be breaking it down to a couple different subjects tonight. The first one is this kind of like pissed off social class aspect, and then the next one I'll get a little abstract, and I think at the very end I'm just going to read my favorite poem by Lauryn Hill, is actually what it's about. So that's the only one I don't have memorized, so I'm going to have to pull the sheet out for that one. But this one's very similar content. It goes, hickory dickory daiquiri, the rich build up their factories, enforcing native faculty, ignoring rate of casualties, cause if you build it they will buy, so fuck the lives of tranquil tribes you give to take and pay to make from place to place our names engraved. Land of the free, home of the brave, funded by greed, built by the slaves. A culture snuffed by hate and greed, cause vultures love to prey on the weak. And dinner is served, so come and get it. Make it faster than you spend it. Build a mansion on the water, count your sins upon the dollar. 1, 2, 3, 4. Give to the rich and take from the poor. 5, 6, 7, 8. Set your bricks and lay them straight. 9, 10, 11, 12. Get your one-way ticket to hell. Bigger the crop, the quicker they sell, the bigger the profit figure itself. Thank you. I might actually switch topics right now. I'm gonna go to, I have a lot of problem with like the hip-hop industry and like what's promoted through it and people's view of it because of that, and there's a big cycle of shit and violence that goes on because of it, and so I'm just gonna speak my mind about that subject a little bit. This one starts off, excuse me for my profanity everybody, if there's kids in here, but it goes, fucking auto-tune, I like my tune set to manual. When the media's been feeding off these people like a cannibal, incomprehensible just how they're selling records, and most of what they talk about is diamonds on their necklace, and selling sex is still good for making cash flow, where women are disrespected by themselves and by those assholes, not even half clothed, treated as raps hoes, while every rapper's treated like the king of his own castle, with half-assed flows, rhythm slow and rhymes repetitive, lazy from the weed smoke, purple drinking sedatives, so call them kid. Hip-hop is on its deathbed when the way that it's been going, safe to say it's better left dead. Closed casket at the funeral, cause something that was beautiful was turned into a monster when all the labels care about is how to get their profit. Every auto-tune's another nail into the coffin, like mindless violence defines the fine prints, divides and multiplies, see it spreading like a virus, and through the ears and iris proceeds into the bloodstream, ignorance embedded in pursuit of a thug's dream. And for every auto rapper there's 1,000 stupid listeners, the captive held prisoners to cast its self-images, increasing the percentages of lifelong sentences, sending wrong messages of how to get the Benjamins, invest in sin to watch it climbing up the stock charts, while the cop cars leave behind a trail of chalk marks, Freedom is a lost art, beat 'em when the dogs bark, kill 'em when they bite, taking the fighting out from our heart, seizing the right to ignite a world that's gone dark. Thieves in the night stole the lighting out from our spark, like starved sharks getting hungry for that little fish. Bit by little bit, eat what little culture still exists. It's not great, but at least we got that on the ground where thought waves still remain to be original. We're not slaves to the radio and auto sounds. Gotta shut 'em down, gotta shut 'em down, man. This is a little bit of a reaction when I saw the Hobart Kids for the first time. Alright, so yo, we've got no city static, no, sorry, let me start that over. We've got no city static, gang wars are fiending addicts, no sirens chasing violence, street folk performing magic, no bright lights, no knife fights or self-proclaiming ballers, just coke heads with no sense for the value of $1. Like put it on my tab, trust funded by my dad, who tells me I deserve every single thing I have. The fast cars, the gold chains, smartphones, slow brain, pockets getting deeper, overflowing and there's no drain. Walking around with no shame, bragging about their riches, while daddy's flipping switches, keeping family in the business. Guaranteed inheritance the second that your parent lists, trading in your common sense and knowledge for a pair of fists. Rain down with a fury on the masses. The no hope broke folks form with the lower classes. Spark that lit the match that was tossed into the kerosene. Burn this town to ash, set and fire to nearly everything. So set a steady stream of ignorance and bullshit. Power like a weapon with no method to control this capitalistic monster we created over time. Like if it makes a profit, it's no longer called a crime, cause criminals are criminals that can't afford their freedom. Money talks louder than the justice we believe in. Incarceration nation got a prison full of potheads with non-violent histories but classified as convicts. Does not fit into my general scheme of ethics. Politicians running free, killing sprees to get their necks fixed is senseless. But with authority against us, there's not much we can do. Numbers few, so we're defenseless in ones and twos, but not in 3 million. People in the streets forming armies of civilians, tired of being treated like secondary citizens. Taxes feed the rasses, keep them living with their privileges. Thank you.